This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.
Let's get into a little Miami Dolphins talk, because we always love talking Dolphins on this show. It's always one of those hot button topics. And we see a story that comes out of the NFL Network, and Michael Girardi, he is talking about the Dolphins, that they're getting calls about Josh Rosen. And I love this because remember who the Dolphins have on their side. They have the guy in Chris Grier that says, hey, we want Laramie Tunsil. We'll give you a first rounder. Thanks, we appreciate it, but, that's what we spent on him. Okay, hey, you know what? We want him badly. We'll give you a first and a second rounder. We really like Laramie, and he's a cornerstone player. He's a future of our franchise. Well, you know what? Let me tell you something. We'll give you 2 first rounders and a second. Tunsil's one hell of a player, man. He's going to protect the blind side of our quarterback, even though we're drafting Tua. Anyway, so, we really love Tunsil. All right. Last offer. We give you 2 first rounders, a second, and we'll take Kenny Stills off your salary cap. So that's another $8 million. Done. Let's go. So the guy didn't flinch after 1 first rounder, after 2 first rounders, after 2 first rounders and a second, and then he needed more relief from the cap, and then he said, okay, now you can have him. So you got a guy that is going to be very patient. You got a guy that traded Ryan Tannehill. He had to be a little creative, but again, these are things that they never did in the past. They would have just released him. And let's play the soundbite from Michael Girardi talking about Josh Rosen and the Miami Dolphins and what the interest around the NFL.
Meanwhile, in Miami, they've got 3 different quarterbacks. Ryan Fitzpatrick is the incumbent. Led them in passing, actually led them in rushing last year. Fitzpatrick coming back again for another season. Will he be the tutor for Tua, or will he be the guy that carries the job all year long? Fitzpatrick said, look, I'm here because I want to play, and that is what I'm planning to do. I'm planning on playing. But he says openly to Tua and to Josh Rosen, the 3rd quarterback, hey, guys, pick my brain. I have been through so many different things. I have made so many bad throws, so many good throws. I am here for you as a resource. And quickly on Josh Rosen, by the way, the forgotten man, teams called the Miami Dolphins about Rosen's availability this offseason, and thus far, the Dolphins are in no hurry, Colleen, to trade.
Now, I love that. There's the short-sighted Dolphin fan doesn't understand this. You'll hear an idiot right away say, well, no, why don't you trade him? Hurry up, trade him. Move him right now. And we just had this conversation about X-Man. Oh, they signed Byron Jones. Are they going to trade X? No, they're not. Oh, they drafted Noah. Are they going to trade X? No, they're not. Why don't you trade X? What did I explain to you before? You don't trade X now. Fresh off a domestic violence issue and a knee scope? No, dude. You wait a year, so he bounces back. He plays like a Pro Bowler this year, stays away from trouble. A year is removed from all this mess, and now you've got a new person, a new page, and the value is back up again. Now you can move him. Okay? That's what you do. With Rosen, you do the same thing. If you trade him now, you're not really going to get much. And if you trade him now, you also don't have an insurance policy for Tua. I keep telling you guys, he needs to be, and I'm talking about Tua, he needs to be on the bench early in the season. Rosen should be your backup at this point in time. There's no reason you can't get much for Rosen now. So what you try to do is you try to build value. You own him for a few more years. It's not like he's going anywhere. You got 3 years left on him. This year and 2 more. I mean, well, the 5th year if you want it. But my point is you still have plenty of time to make that decision. And you have plenty of time to actually grow the value. And you have plenty of time to wait for injuries and desperation to sit in around the league. Now you have no leverage. You have to try to build that leverage. And one of the key things that will be maybe important will be the preseason, because I don't believe Tua's really going to play at all in the preseason. With that hip injury, I think they'll practice him, but I don't think they want him to take any kind of contact, especially in a preseason. Like I told you before, I told you the offensive line needs to get settled. Can you imagine trying to do it in a preseason? Come on, man. A shortened off season, all that. So it's just not realistic. So if Rosen goes out and has a solid training camp in preseason and starts to look better and more comfortable, and maybe even to the point that in the first couple of games of the year, he plays parts of those games and he displays, consistency, then all of a sudden he starts to look different around the league. And now you start to build that value back up again. So for anybody that has this short-sighted approach, oh, no, yeah, get rid of him. Well, first of all, you don't know where Tua's at. Second of all, you're giving him away. So you have an opportunity to build value. You're not in a hurry. This is a slow process. I get it. We're in a microwave society. We want to put in 60 seconds, and we want our instant soup done. I totally understand that, okay? But that's not how this is done. You have to do things patiently, and you have to wait, okay? And that's what this guy does. Grier waits. He has patience. And I think he'll do the same thing in this case. I think he'll wait, and he'll try to build value back up again with Josh. And there's other reasons, too, that maybe also why you lost a little value with Josh, and we'll get into that later on the program. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, for me, I saw that story, and I said right away, okay, this is, and I love the part of the story where the Dolphins are like, yeah, we're not interested right now. And you shouldn't. You shouldn't. Because you got to get to a point, hopefully, where you could get back to getting a decent pick. Because you can't get a decent pick for him right now. And remember, if you're able to get a second or third rounder, the part I want to explain to you all out there, or even a fourth rounder for him, okay? Oh, but they gave up a second rounder. Well, technically, they gave up a half a second rounder because they made a second rounder into 2 second rounders, okay? And so they drafted their second rounder this year off of New Orleans, and then now they got another second rounder in Josh Rosen. So technically, if you trade him and you get another second rounder, you traded your second rounder and got back 2 second rounders, or you traded your second rounder and got a second and a third, or a second and a fourth. You understand what I'm saying? So either way, you end up benefiting, but you got to build that value back up again. And right now, trading him, you'd be lucky to get a 5th or 6th rounder from a team. And what does that do for you? It's why you turn off my mic? I can't hear anything. What's going on? Are you sure my mic's on? Okay, because I don't hear anything. My headset, there we go. All right, now it's the connection. All right, anyway, my headset was gone there. So you build it back up again. You now do your job as a general manager, do your job as a coaching staff, and obviously do the responsible thing for your team, because the responsible thing for your team now is you can't count on Jake Ruddick. So you have to keep Josh Rosen because he's the healthiest number 2 quarterback you have on your team. Okay? Well, him and Jake. Tua is not there yet. And you don't want to put him in that. Again, not a hurry. The silly, when I know you know nothing about football, when you want to start Josh Rosen in week 1, when you want to get, Tua in week 1, when you want to get rid of Rosen right away and have no insurance policy whatsoever just in case Tua has any kind of setback, he is injury prone. We still have a training camp and preseason to go through. Even if he doesn't take a hit, he could still suffer an injury. He can still suffer setbacks. And then where are you? That's why you need Rosen. So it shows me a lot when I see people, say things irresponsibly like that, and they don't put thought into it. and they don't put themselves in the position of the team. You know what I mean? It's great to have your own agenda and your own point of view, but there are facts, there are realities that are in the way, and these are the facts and realities that I shared with you that I think that's why you have to show patience now and hold off in moving Josh Rosen at this point in time.